Hey, welcome to a wonderful Insta 361 RS low level shot, getting out there, knowing that the camera may or may not work in this situation. As the sun is rising, it will be the golden hour in the hour. I know if there is no light on you, you're not going to get video at all. And that's the thing about any particular camera you own. If it's a GoPro, Insta, and DJI, anyone. So what are we going to be talking about? Oh yeah, everything about the Insta 360 that I like and dislike. So you could say it's a love and hate relationship. So let's roll that intro. First thing I do not like, I don't see any horizon level lock in the latest firmware that was released April 22nd, 2022. Now it may come out in the next firmware down the road and I won't have the camera by then. What do you mean, fish? Another thing I don't like is the startup of Quick Start. I hear the beep, and I know the video's rolling, but the red LED comes on like at 10 seconds, so you got about 5 seconds. I got a lot of dislikes over the likes, if asked. I don't like the screen. It's very small. It's smaller than the GoPro's front screen, and it's really like the size of a postage stamp. And when you touch it, that is another. I don't know if I can say I don't like the low light because I haven't looked at it yet, but you know the story on that one. I don't like when I swipe on the screen to get into the modes because it goes directly to the next mode, and it's not what I want if I wanted to see what the mode I was on. Meaning, if I go like this, I was on video mode, it goes directly to the next mode. And then I gotta think about what mode do I really want to be on. And also, I don't like the order that is on. Video is on number 7, photos like number 6, and so forth. I don't like when I use quick capture and I shut down, and 5 seconds later, I can't get another quick capture going. I have to wait a little longer before I could do that. I don't like this camera when you set it on video mode and quick capture. It's always on ultra wide. I know I can hit the top right hand corner, and I know I can set a custom. I don't know if that's even going to work. Don't like how I can't get it to stay onto linear. And like I said, horizon lock. I don't want to sound like that movie that said all those curses like 1,000 or 100,000 times. Oh, the tip of my tongue. Yeah, it's a lot of dislikes, and that just doesn't do justice. I don't like the sound with the wind noise reduction, hearing when the wind goes by, it whistles in the camera, and there wasn't any whistling when I was riding. There are many more dislikes, and I just can't name one right now. The front LED is lower, the back is brighter. You could say that's a dislike. And I don't like the battery or port USB Type-C door that covers on. Very difficult to get to, and you got to take it off every single time you want to use this camera to transfer the SD card. Now, I am, always underneath a light so I can show you the shot and get you the best shot around before the sun starts to rise. and off we could go. Another thing I don't like, and it's very important, electronic image stabilization. When I started out, like the first 10 seconds, I felt that the camera jerked. Oh, yes, indeed. And it wasn't to my liking. And that was standard flow state. And I even went ahead and did it to high flow state. I like the camera, but over time, it's just not going to be good. Another dislike is the frame. If you got everything set up, you could put the camera either way in. You know what I mean. Doesn't matter which way you go. So it's really a fully interchangeable thing, which is a like and dislike. So as it gets brighter, you'll start to like the camera better. I want to thank Insta360 for teaching me to wait for the red light to blink. Yeah! And let me tell you, it's a good thing. Now, as you use the camera, you start to get to like it. And the one thing I liked yesterday was, man, those tulips, the yellows and the reds, they were so powerful that the whole video that I shot with DaVinci Resolve was unbelievable. The LRV files of this camera did go into DaVinci Resolve and was used with GoPro. They weren't be able to be used. You couldn't use them at all. So when I loaded the regular files in and I said, hey, link it to the proxy into the folder, I don't know if it did because I didn't see anything set found. It just accepted it. And that was a like. Now I got, you bet, the GoPro. Yes, indeed. And that's going to be for comparisons. You bet. But I'm not sure if I got the time to sit there and put side by side by side with about 100 scene shots. But we'll give it a shot. I did it before with other cameras, so why not this camera? Everybody out there is comparing the GoPro to the Insta360 RS. Hey, were you over here looking at me? You're on ultra wide, which I did not like. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I rode the street. I know the GoPro can capture just a little bit more. Quick capture is supposed to quickly get into the camera. And I just hope you learn that feature. Well, I could left the camera on and get my 87 minutes of video. I think what I am going to do is change over on my way home after the review and just do 6K ProRes. That's what they call the actual file. I don't like the file system. You have all LRVs first, which is great. And then you have all your 4K video, which is the next. And your ProRes is not in the order as you're shooting your 4K video or whatever. So please make sure you know what you're shooting and when you're shooting for the correct count. I don't like the beep system. It's low. It's not loud. So some people can't hear, and they're not going to hear those beeps. They are set at high, most likely. This shot here is on a smooth boardwalk right now, cement. So you get an idea of how it's going to look. But coming up in the distance right over there, we're going to see some roughness as we're riding right now on a different type of wood. Stay tuned for the electronic image stabilization test. In no way or form has the company contacted me on an Insta360 product, and this is my open and honest review. I try to keep positive and I try to help out. And the thing is, I'm not going to sell you. You're going to figure that out if this camera's for you. you're going to see many videos out there. And the problem with that is, oh yes indeed, they're going to always talk good about the camera. So when you see a brand new product being released, those cameras were handed to those people months in advance, and they were to test out and give feedback to the company. And while they do that, they try to sell you on that product. And that's not, again, who I am. I will tell you exactly like it is. I showed you the bad parts, and I'm going to talk about the good parts. The last video was about image stabilization, and I was talking about how people share their thoughts out loud the positive way. Well, this is image stabilization standard right out of the camera. I could change it to high, but like I said, I had troubles and issues with my settings. People are going to be asking, does the camera overheat? Yes, under an hour. Is it hot right now? No, I shot so many videos, I shoot a couple of minutes at a time, and the camera does feel warm. When I first picked up the camera and I went outside to do the foxgloves video and I brought it in, I felt the heat come off of the camera. That's the sound of the boardwalk underneath my feet, underneath the bike wheels. My video is so smooth that I don't really need to worry about anything, but I need to make sure right now I hold my camera 100% 90 degrees. I wanted to go see the T-Rex and I can't. He's closed up, but there are other ways to get around to go see it. So here I am on a nice, dead, calm morning. And the sun should be rising behind. All the rides are open. Great time to take a camera, a action camera, an Insta 360 1RS on a ride. But I don't have anybody here. I did have somebody here that put us up on the rocket ship that spun around, that we knew is no longer around. I started my camera early because I know by the time I get up to that sign and start it and then go to where all the seagulls are at, it's not going to happen. So here I am, no slow motion, but 4K 60 frames per second according to the field of view is ultra wide. Yeah, Nathan's. Everybody ate Nathan's and it must have been a wonderful time. And I am going to be rolling. Now that's when the LED lit up. And the LED really takes a lot of time. Now we're going to... The Insta 360, fully recording this video. It sounds like there's a boat out there in the distance that you hear. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And that's not the audible sound. In the background, we have seagulls all around eating up the trash that's in the area that you've seen in the couple of scenes prior. I have a beautiful shop behind me. The Dinoland Wonder Wheel. Have you ever gone on it? Have you ever gone on the Cyclone? The Insta 360 1RS. I should get some comparison shots right now with the GoPro and shoot. And exactly what I'm doing. I'm shooting with a GoPro Hero 10 Super View. Doesn't matter what else is on. This is the camera. I haven't put it in my pocket because I'm afraid eventually down the road that this thing is going to snap open and it's going to come out. Now, we all know how to take this apart. It comes apart real simple, like so. And we can't just take this unit and go film because there is nothing on here to shoot. I don't want to start to switch this around or do anything, but I can, have some fun and build things. If you lose this, you can replace it. If you lose this, you could kind of replace it. And if you lose this, the same thing, you could kind of replace it. It all depends on the availability when these things were new. It's not that hard to snap in. And my door was open all along this whole ride. So if I would have went in the water, I would have had troubles. If I would have lost the door, I definitely cannot replace it. So I just line my camera back up the way it is, and I could just put it on the table. It snaps in. Everybody was showing how the DJI Action 2 just basically snaps in. Well, what I am going to do is put this all back into the case and lock it up. As we turn this camera on, this is the on button. And you can see how long it may take to get on. You'll decide if that is long enough for you, and we'll shut it off. 1, 2. That's not a bad press. Now, I don't want to waste video, but you could now see what happens when I want to go take video now when I hit the quick capture. Quick capture's on, and I'm going to get ready to take my video. And I am going to be rolling. Now that's when the LED lit up, and the LED really takes a lot of time. Now we're gonna pause the video, and can we interrupt this whatsoever? The only camera we can interrupt is the DJI Osmo Action. When I come here into the video, everybody wants to get into the action. Your seagulls, the people behind, and so forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch around. So I can show you when I swipe into the next screen, I automatically went right to photo. I wanted to know why I'm not staying on video. If I'm on video and I want to look for horizon level lock, it would be down here. A lot of people are showing that you swipe over here into the camera and you hit the button here instead. As you hit this button here instead, let me widen the screen. You hit this button here, it gets into ultra. And ultra is in wide now. I don't know why it went into wide, but there you go. There's all the different controls. And people like to get into the video, and they gave a nod, said thank you very much. That's what happened there. So you hit the linear and you back out. You're not even sure what you're on. You're on linear on top, but down here there is no horizon lock whatsoever. The camera does time out to go back into the main mode. So with the latest firmware, April 22nd 2022, you don't have horizon level lock, and everybody's showing it because it may be in post. So the camera will time out, and I'm not going to be getting into the settings to figure that out whatnot. So what I am going to do is I am going to hit the bottom button. You don't need to swipe it. I'm going to hit linear. I'm going to just put it right back on ultra wide and shut my camera down. And I am done with that. So I'm going to shut my camera, save the power. The Insta360 ONE RS, you have a cold shoot option adapter for $20. And then you have a company named Sonova that makes the audio external mic. And over here would be your audio coming on. You have -3 and 3 decibel changes. And you could try to use a DJI Osmo Action Sonova. It will fit in, it will show all that, but it will make the camera a remote control. How sweet is that? So if you plug into the 3.5mm adapter, it records, and it also shows a lightning bolt for unlimited power. And that is something very interesting. I am very pleased with the Insta360 ONE RS. Remember, all those dislikes that I showed at the beginning, no one talks about. They talk about active HDR, how beautiful the shot is. They talk about the scenery. In the background, you're going to see the clouds, but I'm not having any footage shooting that. And here I go. I'm going to take some actual footage right now. And by the time I start the camera and get the footage, is now recording. And there I am. Where I was filming, they got to sit down, and that's why the fish move. I could think about how the next step of everything is with life. Now, I try to stand clear of everybody, do my review, and they all want to come on top, and that's why I actually moved. I am very pleased again. I am going to more or less wrap this review up in 6K. I'm going to get my ride to the pier and have a wonderful memory of this ride. Now, I'm waiting for the seagulls to fly by. I had to get out of the shot, people, because everybody just comes and they're exercising right next to me, and I move along. If you're looking to get an Insta 361 RS, don't let me stop you. That's all up to you. I am very pleased with the camera. I just can't see this very small screen when I want to set things up, and I gotta learn it. I'm not gonna learn it in a couple of days, but I will learn it in X amount of times. So I'm gonna swipe to the side, and I'm going to start to look for just a swipe, and it just clicks on. So cold fingers is not going to work, and that is a dislike. 6K ultra wide. You know what? I don't think I want to film in it because it's going to be very shaky, and I got to do a lot of posts in order to correct stabilization, and that is extra work for some people. I just don't find the extra work in doing a post at 6K wide don't have stabilization. But I am in 6K ultra wide, and that's going to be the rest of the video. I am about 8 feet away. I hope I don't ruin the shot for you. Let me get out of the shot so you can enjoy. Now, you got the park recreation people. They could have cleaned everything up. They'll do it later. That's not their job, but that's what they should be doing, cleaning some stuff up. I'm going to continue on. You just missed that seagull. If I had the X2 with me, I would have caught the seagull almost flying into me. That's twice. So I'm going to take that as, you know what, my sign to take the camera, pack it up, and get it on out of here. So as we ride along towards the pier, I'm going to slowly turn the camera around, and we're going to see the garbage cans get picked up. Garbage cans getting picked up. Beautiful system indeed. I want to see how it's going to pick that one up. He's going to have to get out of the area to do that. And it goes into the system. Nice job indeed. I'm sorry, another dislike. Quick capture button is hard to press, and let me tell you that. Now, when we use the on and off button, it's a little softer, definitely indeed. That is a gorgeous shot of the steeplechase parachute jump. How smooth is this? Oh, the police are hanging out. We're not the only ones shooting video. Widescreen on the beach. They got a nice DSLR. and they are shooting something. So the Insta 360 1RS. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful camera. A camera to have in your pocket if it's your first action camera for sure. But if you have a GoPro and you want to go to Insta, go right ahead. Now that makes the video, hearing the sounds of the ocean. Now this is why I came here, right here. So you can see the sunrise, and you can see the sun rays that's in the clouds. A beautiful shot, 6K, finishing up the review. A real super slow pan. No image stabilization is being given, or if I forget, it will be in post. There's very minimal for 6K. Maybe in the future there will be. Now I have a gentleman with his 2 children, and he's not part of our show, but they made it over here that was in the video, and we give respect. We let everybody take the shot. I have a better shot over here showing a excellent scene indeed. Now that we've seen the sunrise, I'm going to basically bring the camera back to 4K and finish. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap the review up at home, give you a nice conclusion of the review of the Insta 360 1RS, and I hope you can make some sense out of the love and hate relationship of the camera. The golden hour, that's the time. It is right now. So I shot all my video just prior to the golden hour. So I should be looking nice and bright. Active HDR? No, you don't put active HDR when the sun's shining on you. You put it towards the sun so you could get the foreground and background in the shot. I don't know what active HDR is all about. You do, not me. I didn't show you the full potential of the Insta 360 1RS. I only showed you what I wanted to show you. Video, a vlogging camera. I told you. Missed shots of the birds starting to fly, but they're in the middle of their flight. This is where active HDR or HDR active should be put on. Right. Yes, indeed. Following the seagulls. I'm going to have to avoid the sand. Go this way, fish. The one thing that the camera may not have are all the shortcuts like a GoPro. And that's what I like on the GoPro, having 4 shortcuts. But you do got a plus, and you do got a button down below on the side, and you do got a very small touch screen. And that I give Insta credit on. I did not like the latency of the camera. Got a lot of latency when you use the application and maybe the front screen. So as I turn the camera around, and I'll give a wave and talk about latency. There is latency about 1/4 of a second. And that is not a good thing with latency. You want to be able to see the shot, frame the shot, get the shot, right? Now, one good thing, one major thing, and everybody be happy about, oh yeah, is the application allows you to see the recording view of your screen for video. And that is one of the big pluses indeed. So on that note, gonna put the camera back in my pocket and head on home and wrap this review up. I'm amazed in the battery indicator's life. It's like drop 1 bar, and this is the anti-flicker test, 60 hertz for me. Do you see anything flickering? I don't. I'll get nice and close. Oh yes indeed. I had a great time. I really did. The camera did a great job. I'm very pleased with it. I just feel it's not the camera I want in my kit. There are a number of reasons, as you've seen in the video, and let me tell you, I don't like removing this battery door every single time to download my video, and if I lose that door, I'm going to be in trouble. That door is so cheap to make, they could have given you an extra door. The design of it is almost like those tags that you put into the clothing. The snap-on, that wasn't hard at all to take that off, not at all. And all these stickers are great. They tell you what each things are for, that this will disperse heat. Well, it's got rubber behind this, and that rubber is going to absorb the heat and bring it out. I don't get that part. Wouldn't the camera be a lot cooler like so? And if you just go out there and shoot video this particular way, the problem is this is going to spread open and you're going to have a problem. You can't turn the camera on or use it. There's no internal battery, and especially the 4K don't have any internal battery. Now, finally, this thing has separated. Wow. So yeah, I put my camera back the way I was given from the factory. I got definitely 3 more weeks to use this. I don't want to have it in my arsenal and be stuck with something that I'm not happy with. I enjoy using the product, trust me, I do. I just feel that over time I'm going to have issues. I'm not going to use it to the fullest. So, you're looking for something that's great, be my guest, go for it. Now, you're going to get everything with it, like I showed. You're going to get your USB cable, you're going to get little adapters. The one has Horizon Lock already out, and I'm surprised how they couldn't offer this Horizon Lock in the RS right now, or I cannot find it in the camera, and that is one major deal breaker because I'm always tilted all over the road. 6K, it's a 4K camera. 6K, you don't have 5.3K in the camera, so I like the frame rates of GoPro. I like the interface of the GoPro. I like everything else of the GoPro over the RS. So this is not a GoPro killer. It's not an Insta360 RS killer. It's an action camera with interchangeable lenses. And this kit will do just fine if you're looking into cameras and it's your first camera. But if you've got other cameras in your collection, as you can see all over, and you can find that you like other things. I like a large screen. I like to see what I'm filming, especially if I'm vlogging. And I find it a lot easier to use a GoPro with its front screen vlogging. I don't have that whistling sound when enhanced or the wind reduction is on, and so forth. So it does say it's 4K 60. It says it's photos, which I didn't use. It's got stabilization and it's waterproof to a certain extent. And it does give you all this Horizon Lock. No way can I find that in the camera simple to use. If you make something very complicated, you're not going to like it. And that's every single time trying to use the camera, which I had some issues. So I hope I made a little sense for me. I'm not telling you not to get it. That's all up to you. And that's my open and honest review. I hope you enjoy it. Roll that outro.